Good morning to you all. This is Sunday, Easter Sunday, yeah. Anyhow, thanks for comments concerning that Roco. I'm still in two minds whether to use it. At the moment, I've resealed the box and put it on in a cupboard which it won't get used. So if things change, I might put it up and see it. I think it will probably work, but they want this card or your PayPal, which I don't really understand because there's supposed to be ways of doing it without the card. Anyhow, enough of that. It may be that if I did get this Roco thing, I'd be spending so much time perhaps watching stuff that I'm wasting time, because TV is, in my opinion, quite a time waster, and that is something that could easily happen if they did put some interesting programs up. I like the informative programs. You get a lot of those on the continental stuff, but unfortunately I don't speak any of the continental languages, so I have to watch the pictures and sort of fill in the gaps between the programs. And one interesting programs is the German programs. I don't know if it's Bears for Rares or Rares for Bears, but it was the idea of the bidding room, which is an English program now. The German program's obviously been going quite a bit longer, and it is a very good program. You recognise a lot of the people on there. Don't know their names, but anyhow, they bring up interesting bits which are always worth having a look. So yeah, there are certain things that are still on the TV which is not classed as complete rubbish. I'm being polite. I could use a stronger word. Anyhow, the reason I'm putting this up also is, well, it's more or less confirmed that I'm not going round the bend. I have been on Warfarin for several years now, due to work done on the old ticker. They renewed one of the valves, and the safest way to keep the blood thinner was to be put on Warfarin, which is checked, I think, about every month now. They check the IMF, which I think has to be about 2. But this is obviously a good check that they make. And the idea is to keep the blood thin. It's also atrial, I can't think of the name, but it's where the heartbeat is not even, it judders about. Okay, as I say, I've reached 80 and I feel very pleased that I have. I never in 100 years thought I'd reach that age, but I did. So, a little bit of care and attention, this probably helps. I take the old blood pressure reading, not every day, perhaps once a month or thereabouts, to just check that it's within bounds. But one thing did notice, and I've noticed it over the years, particularly during the winter time, is feeling cold. I've probably mentioned this in when I put other stuff up on YouTube, and I did know why, but I couldn't see it written down anywhere that was a side effect of Warfarin. You look up side effects of Warfarin on good old Google. There's no mention about getting cold. And I thought, well, am I going mad? Am I imagining this? I'm blooming sure I'm not. As I said, I put an extra continental blanket on the bed, and my electric, or not electric, but the heating bills will probably be quite a bit more, because this winter seems to have been not very nice. And I've just had a visitor. So I had idea that I'd look into further this. I have heard people saying that they have felt cold if they're on Warfarin, but not a great amount. And the blurb that was on Google concerning side effects of Warfarin didn't even mention getting cold. So I began to think, well, am I going mad? So let's look further in. So funny enough, Google's quite good. I put up Warfarin side effects feeling cold. And wow, that did the trick. There was certain people on there, although you can't leave a message now, that's been taken down, I don't know why. But the answers or the questions the people were saying was, well, funny enough, identical to what I'm suffering. This was deep inside type cold, not just a surface cold, but where you really feel cold inside. And, well, putting extra clothes on when going out and putting the heating on and wrapping up well. As I say, I'll be honest, in winter time, the only comfortable place, as far as I'm concerned, is when I'm in bed. At least I'm warm. And I can control I've got the duvet with an electric blanket on top, which is only turned on exceptions if it is too cold. But that does keep me warm. But apart from that, it is very unpleasant. And no one seems to mention it. But on this little article, or Google, they do. And the symptoms, they pleased me a lot. Because I'll be honest, I thought I was going round the bend. I just thought I was going round the bend. I thought, well, no one seems to be suffering from this. But oh yeah, on this article, people are, and they suffer the same way as I am. Cold hands, always feeling cold during the winter months, and perhaps sometimes in early spring is now. It's I believe we're actually first day of summer, I think they call it. It's still blooming, as far as I'm concerned, cold out there, and you feel wind. I know where I live. I put the bins out today for the garbage, and at the side of the house where the bins stand, I wheeled them out to the front, and it was cold. I had to put my overcoat on. It was just so cold. So it seems that it is a problem. So anyway, anyone else suffers from this, give us a shout. But it did confirm what I was saying. I was probably right in thinking, although I did at the time think I was going round the bend. I thought there was no mention of it, but there is mention of it. So yeah, that's that thing. So it's Warfarin, which is originally was a rat poison. I think it was discovered in the States. It was a rat poison but they use it to control the blood. There are other thinners. I'm not going to go into those. I thought, well, at least I know what is causing it. And because you're always cold, you feel miserable. You don't want to do much, just lounge about. And it is not very nice. So at least that told me that, no, I'm not imagining it. It is happening. So that's more or less all I've got to say. I will try and push or get the old type of videos back, where either talking about the telephones, bulbs, plants in the greenhouse, antiques. I've got a few antiques here, as you can probably see in the room. It's more like a junk shop. But as I say, I like it, and it's stuff I picked up years ago from mainly the old-fashioned junk shops, when there were the old-fashioned junk shops. Later, obviously, boot sales. You can see at the end there. Move over so you can see it's got a few plants there. They're sansevierias, snake plants, if you like. They're quite old ones. I'm going to have to check them over this summer, perhaps repot them. And that was the old the clock chiming, French vineyard clock, which is up there on the wall there on the side. So yeah, that is more or less all I've got to say on this. Thank you all for putting comments in concerning the that Rocco unit. I'm still contemplating whether I'm going to chance putting it on probably PayPal. At least it's got to be on somewhere where there's a check made, and I know when you do a transaction through PayPal, it comes up on your emails. So at least it can be checked, although they say it's only used for having it there in case you wanted to go onto one of these paid channels. Well, funny enough, I don't. I'm not interested in Netflix. I'm certainly not interested in films. As I said yesterday, the last film I saw, I think, was called Close Encounters, where a bloke was searching a mound of stuff. So it goes back a few years. I'm not a film goer. I've never really been interested in films. I suppose when it comes to that, I'm not really interested in, I call them storybooks. I've got hundreds of books, but they're all either to do with the hobby, electronics. They were the books I was brought up with. I wasn't brought up with storybooks. It's probably why I wasn't very much liked at school. But anyhow, I'm getting off the subject again, and I do like rambling on a bit. This, as I say, is not a rant. This is just a ramble to say that, yeah, if you're on Warfarin, you can get cold. And believe me, you are cold, you get very cold. So thanks again for having a look at this video. And happy Easter to you all. Although I'm sort of in the front room keeping company with my little pussycat, contemplating something to eat at the moment. Don't know what it'll be, but I shan't starve. And the weather at the moment in South London is overcast, grey, gloomy and horrible. So it's very cheerful. But anyhow, not to worry. Thanks again for watching. Thank you.